started.
This
And so,
conference will now be recorded.
so everybody, listen. This is Tammy D with the Safe. I almost said the Safe Space podcast, but that's not my podcast. Safe. Well, actually, it is. Safe Space is mine. Safe and Sound is Sean's. We don't want to get those confused, people. But today, my guest is Katie Benson, all the way out there in the greater Atlanta area. And we're going to talk to her a little bit about why she chose to leave what looked like a really fun career and go and help seniors with their safe money issues. So, good morning, Katie. Or it's morning here still. We have 4 more minutes till it turns into afternoon. How's it going?
Good. Thank you for having me.
So, so before we get into some of the deeper thoughts today, tell me a little bit about who you are. And I mean, you look way too young to be in this business, first of all, and who you are, why, what you're doing right now, and what your background is. I mean, who's Katie?
Yeah. Yeah. So, oh man, I got into this because I saw what my parents were going through when they started their retirement journey, and it was kind of painful to watch as their kid what they were going through. What was someone that was very rude and was giving bad advice. He was especially rude to my mom. I didn't appreciate that, so I started doing my own research, and I went down many rabbit holes, and I actually ended up introducing my parents to Sean Sparkman, and he was actually able to help them out with their retirement plan. And it gave me such a peace of mind for them, and I knew that I wanted to help others achieve the same financial goals, because there are really amazing products out there. It's unfortunate that there's also some not so good products. And I would love nothing more than to help people sift through the confusing nature of annuities and bring about clarity and bring about them choosing what they can have and have empowerment in that decision instead of guesstimating their way through.
But you weren't really you weren't really thinking about financial services for most of your life, correct? I mean, what were
No,
you doing before?
no, it fell into my lap like that, like with watching my parents and what they went through. But no, I was a creative before.
No,
I
you're
actually,
still a creative. You're still a creative,
that's
remember?
true. That's true. Um, I did floral design for the film industry, and it was an absolute whirlwind. It was a company I started when I was 26 years old, and had it for about 10 years, and it grew, um, and then I decided to exit out of that. So
Wow, you started a company awfully young. I mean, always had this entrepreneurial zeal ever since you could remember. Was that what you studied in college? Were you trying to build a business?
I did not study it in college. I did take courses, and I actually was able to travel to France, and I took some floral design courses, and I interned at a wonderful place here in Atlanta for 6 months and really honed in my skills with floral design. And that's how I actually started on that trajectory. I um, I wanted to be able to be creative in the way I wanted to be. And I felt that I didn't want to be inhibited in any way of how that flowed in my life. And I felt that belonging to a company or belonging to even another florist wouldn't be able to create what I was able to create with my previous company.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the reason a lot of people get into independent business is because they have their own vision and they don't want to have to be corporate. They don't want to have to follow the corporate line. So that had to be, I mean, I can see that on one hand, it was probably the most stressful thing ever. And on the other hand, you probably met some of the most fascinating, creative people. I mean, I would love to hear some of these stories, but what do you think that you learned or took away from that business that you're bringing now and how you see money?
Oh, that's a good question. Let's see, how do I view that? I learned a lot. I with the first round. Goodness, and I feel like I was able to grow with my first company. I feel like I started and I was willing to do anything and everything, and I was like, oh, like let's do weddings and funerals. And then I had a friend in the film industry, and they were able to sort of just get me in that way. And so then learning how to communicate to film crew, they hardly have much time to communicate much just because they are building so many sets so quickly, and they have a certain amount of time to do it. And so it's all about how can I provide you with the best service and be concise and be predictable and deliver on time and just make their experience as less stressed as absolutely possible. And that was my goal, was to show up with the best amount of service, the best level, the best care, the best product, and and serve them in that way.
And certainly you had to be somewhat of a psychologist as well. You had to be able to sort of crawl inside someone's head and see things, see what they were seeing, and try to make that happen. And that is, to me, really important in designing a good retirement portfolio, especially in the safe money area of the portfolio, where you have to decide what does that client, what is their real vision? What are they seeing for their retirement? What do they want to happen? What's really important to them? Because that determines what kind of tools and processes you're going to use. Would you say that
Totally.
that correlates to what you did before?
Yes, yes. I actually, when I would get off of meetings with my other clients in my previous business, what I would do is I would gather all the information they gave me, and then I would create a PDF version with photos and with words, and everything was really concise. And then I would add different further details to it. And I brought clarity to a lot of situations. I'm extremely visual. And so being able to email back a client something that is just like, this is what you can expect to have delivered to you. And it brought so much clarity. And it was really that, I think, up leveled me from a lot of different people doing business the way that I did it, was because I brought an entire package of something instead of just like a small delivery on the day of. I'm bringing clarity before it even is delivered to their door.
Exactly. And what you're doing sort of is you're helping them. Sometimes they don't even know what they want, but they know it when they see it. And
Yes,
so,
that is true.
they're not really sure, but then they go, that's it. That's it. And I think
Yeah,
a lot of financial people have told me over the years that that's one of the things that they like to do is to make people understand their relationship with money and what it is they want that money to do for themselves. Because most often it's all the talk about saving and investing and everything, but nobody really talks about the purpose. What is the purpose? Why do you want to do this? How do you sit down with the client? What do you ask them, and how do you get them to reveal to you what their secret desires are, about their money?
yeah. So my desire for my clients is to educate them so that they are making the best decision for their family. And that looks so different from so many people that I talk to on a weekly basis, whether it be, just a single person wanting money for the rest of their life and they don't mind if they're leaving it to a trust, or if it's all not going to, if it's just all going to go away, and to a family that really wants to gift their beneficiaries, their children, money after they're gone. It's being able to help distill what the wants and the needs are of the clients, to be able to bring them the best product for them. And it's so individualized, and it's really wonderful to be able to have so many wonderful products to present to opposite sides of what a retirement looks like from one client to the next.
Yes, and also, I mean, too, you have to overcome some of the there's with certain safe money products, you're going to have to overcome some of the myths and the misconceptions that people have about it. I'm sure it was the same in your other business as well. People think this is what it's supposed to be, and then you have to say, no, this isn't exactly. You're telling me you want to do this, but this isn't going to do it. And I think there's a lot of myths around safety and money, and in particular, like annuity products, insurance, all that stuff has its share of detractors. So when you sit down with a person that's sort of skeptical, what's the first thing you want to do with them?
Well, I want to be able to speak to them on like I'm coming into this conversation with you to speak with you on this, and I understand your concerns, and there are unfortunately some products out there that I would argue are not the best for clients, for anyone really. There's some really weird products out there. And so I think that it's like coming to an understanding of these are things that we don't even look at, and then here's some other products that are absolutely incredible, and these are the reasons they are incredible. And this is what the guarantee is. It's not a guesstimation anymore. This is like in black and white, a guarantee.
And I know you work with people all over the country and all different ages and things like that. But do you have like a in your head sort of like the clients that work best with you, that mesh well with you? What does that client look like?
I feel like most recently it's been people in their mid 60s that I've been speaking with the most recently. Sometimes you have them younger, sometimes you have them older, and it's really wonderful just to be able to connect with so many different people and hear about their life experience and hear about their dreams for what they want their retirement to look like. And yeah, it's pretty good.
So you like people sort of like your parents' age, basically, right? It's kind of
Oh, that's true. That is true.
yeah, yeah.
I didn't think of that before,
Well, you
but
can relate. I think that there's a certain way you can relate to those people more. And
yeah.
finally, I mean, I know that you've got a lot of things going on. So what is your vision for your practice and how you're gonna, are you gonna reach? Are you gonna go across the nation? Or are you gonna focus in a certain area? You know, what do you see happening in your future?
So I work remotely, and I do that purposefully so I can serve all across the United States, because I believe that people that are interested, that do want to be educated in the products that they are looking at getting for the rest of their life, I believe it's important to be able to make that connection point as opposed to like a physical interaction, like, across a desk. Um, I love making a connection point more so of what am I trying to say? Like I love being able to help out anyone and everyone all across the continental US. So I do travel quite a bit, and I'm always up for meeting clients in different states. But I much prefer being able to meet with them, because sometimes I give them a call when our appointment is supposed to start, and sometimes an emergency has come up, or something has come up and we have to reschedule, but thankfully they didn't have to drive all the way to find that out.
Oh, that's absolutely, and more people are doing the online thing. I think COVID really helped us out as an industry in that
Yeah,
way. People are used to doing it. It's not such a foreign, weird thing anymore. And I think that's very important. But, if you may be like Dave Ramsey and have meetups all over the country at some point in time, just go to
that's
Katie
right.
Benson. So if somebody wants to know more about you and what you do, who you are, what resources would you recommend? What's your
So
website? How do they contact you?
so I am actually with Annuity Gator right now. So you can look up on Annuity Gator's website and you can see me. And also, my website is letstalkaboutannuities.com.
Let's talk about annuities.com, and you'll be seeing a lot more from Kate Benson in the future, I'm sure, because she's out there every day trying to find people that need what she does, which is to provide a way to have safe growth, without too much market exposure, without as much risk, and some guaranteed lifetime income. And that's what a lot of people want in these turbulent times. So I think she's going to be a pretty busy lady for the next few years anyway. So thanks, Katie. And I hope that everyone out there will go look her up and find out what Katie Benson's all about. And I want to thank you very much for being on the Safe Space podcast today. And we'll talk to you again because there's a lot of different subjects we can cover. And I will talk to you in just a few moments. So I'm going to turn off the recording right now.